Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Hi, I'm John Mallos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this day. Today, the focus is on business. That's the first half of the show. The second half, we're talking politics. Cary Catalano will be in the house talking about his run for Fresno City Council District 1. But in the first half hour, it's real estate. 436 Me TV, option 11. Back in just a moment. And welcome back to the program here on a Tuesday. The focus on business today. That's in the first half hour of the show. And then in the second half hour, we've got, as I mentioned, some politics to talk about and to get to because the election is just around the corner. It's November the 4th. Now, as you know, we're here for the full 60 minutes up until 11 o'clock this morning. And you already know that we're live on Comcast 187, 43.6, and now 13.1. So take your pick, either one of those, or just watch us, watch the program on all 3 channels at the same time. That's a good idea. I mean, if you have nothing else to do. 436 Me TV, option 11 is the telephone number. It's going to be a fun program today. Here on Connect with Me, the focus on business and the question about real estate is, once you buy that home, if you have a very secure job, you probably don't have much to worry about, especially if you work for the state of California or you have a federal job. You probably don't have to worry about where your next meal is going to come from or if you're going to make that house payment. But if you lose your job and you've just purchased a home, how do you keep that home? That's kind of the focus of our program today. Let's roll the videotape, my friends. I'll show you what I'm talking about in terms of the real estate market. A lot of people, especially those in the real estate business, keep a close eye on some of those interest rates and whether or not home sales are up or home sales are down, and certainly availability is an important issue in this area as well. How significant is this information, however, and do the numbers really influence the average person who goes out to buy a home? When the numbers in home sales are up, interest rates are down, real estate people do a lot of boasting, and for good reason. They claim that's the best time to buy a house. It seems, though, as if buyers dictate the market because if you don't have a buyer, obviously you don't have a deal. But when someone actually does buy that dream home and the dreaded news of losing a job comes down the pike, my friends, then what happens? Very few people know how to save that home of theirs. Is this something you should think about, talk about, give serious consideration to before taking the plunge? That's a good question for our 2 guests today. I don't know. Live in our studio now is Roxana Martinez. She is with the Community Housing Council of Fresno. And sitting next to her is the one and only Joel Mazmanian, a real estate agent with Realty Concepts, who will speak about the housing market here in the city of Fresno and, of course, throughout the entire county. And your telephone number to call in if you so choose today, if you're looking to buy a house, or maybe you want to sell a house. Who knows? 436 Me TV, option 11. That's the first half hour. The second half hour coming up at 10:30 with Cary Catalano. We're back in just a moment.
It's Sully and Russ on the Big Biz Show.
It's your biz.
And maybe they'll start listening to Baldwin
Now,
McCullough.
before you make any money moves, check in with the Brain Trust.
And you are starting your week off right.
That's right, my friends. We're back here on the show. Connect with me on Comcast 187, 43.6, and 13.1. And real estate is the topic today. And so we've got Roxana Martinez. Good morning to you. Joel Mazmanian, how are you, sir?
Doing great, John.
Good to see you. How's the market out there? Are you selling? Are you buying?
it is so much more fun to sell real estate now than it was 10 years ago.
Why? 10 years ago, the market was, it was zooming.
Well, now I believe in the market now. And
you do?
And 10 years ago, things were just too high.
Right.
And it was very difficult.
You know, we have a call coming. I think it's for Roxana, though. It's not for you.
That's good. No offense.
Okay.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead. What's your question?
Yeah, good morning, Roxana.
Good morning.
See, I told you.
Good morning.
I find out a lot of people come and buy new homes in order to rent a lot of homes, okay? So do you see that in the market, that they're coming out and buying homes and then going around and selling them, which I've seen a lot of that going around in the valley, and especially around neighborhoods good areas where they bought the houses and then they rent them, okay? Not necessarily to own it, but to rent them. Maybe not a good idea, but like you say, if your job's not real secure, then you would rather go ahead and rent it, you know. But you could do better at renting the house, because a lot of them, if they can't do it, they're going to go to apartments. I mean, here in this town, the apartments are filled to capacity, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe a little cheaper, but I find it that friends of mine would rather rent a house, and you know, of course they check the credit and whatever, but at least they're there for the duration, you know, and they don't have to worry about if they, you know, losing the house because it's not theirs. You know, if anything, it's the owner, you know, as far as the rent ways. So
all right,
I
hey,
just wanted to ask that.
That's a great question. So either one of you want to pick this up?
Well, I am going to ask for Joel's help.
Okay.
However, I do want to say thank you, by the way, for calling in. If there are people out there listening and they are having difficulty making their mortgage payment, or they've received a letter from their employer talking about layoffs, you need to act now. And you can call the Community Housing Council of Fresno at 559-221-6919, and there are many programs out there that will help you avoid foreclosure.
We're gonna get into that topic,
right.
But
and so Joel might be able to help us answer the question about the people
caller,
buying homes and then renting them out.
Yeah, are they buying these fixer-uppers and they want to rent them out? Because, as the caller mentioned, I mean, a lot of the apartment complexes here in Fresno are jam-packed to capacity.
Yeah. You can do that usually with a house about $150,000 or less. You're going to have some positive cash flow from an investment standpoint.
Really?
Hard to do when you're looking $250. Your mortgage is going to be more than what you're going to get in rent. So the investors that come to me, they want something under $150 that's going to cash flow. Maybe they're going to get $1,200 a month from the tenant, and that cash flows for them.
Okay. Another call coming in. Good morning, caller. What's your question?
Yeah, I have a question. Do real estate agents tell young people if they should homestead their homes right away?
If they should do what? What's that again? Caller, you there? Caller? Hello? No? Okay, I didn't get the question. Did you?
I didn't
No.
understand.
Okay.
I didn't.
So getting back to the original question from the original caller, so when you buy a fixer-up, you should spend about $150,000. What should you spend to fix it up?
Yeah. Well, you know, you're going to want, obviously, paint and carpet. If you're going to flip the house, try to make some money on that investment. You know, landscaping is very important. You want to make it pretty, beautiful, and make it very showable for a potential buyer to come in and pay top dollar for that home.
Okay. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, good guess. I just want to say that I have a house down in Bakersfield. I was the executor of a will. It's free and clear. I'm debating whether to either sell it or rent it. And the question I have is, do you see values going up or being staying about the same? And what would your suggestion be?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You want to take that, Joel?
Yeah, we just had a conference 2 weeks ago from Leslie Appleton Young, and she's a part of the California Association of Realtors. She's our chief economist, and she's predicting actually for real estate values to kind of flatten out a little bit in 2015. We had some great increases in valuation the last couple of years. 2011, 2012 was about the bottom, and we've seen increases pretty substantially over the last couple of years. But now we're starting to level off, and that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, and selling or renting, that's kind of a personal choice, is it not? I mean, you got to look at the numbers, but it boils down to whether you want, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
It is. From a tax standpoint, if you have a house, you're going to get a substantial tax savings on the write-off on that interest, and that's something you can't
if you rent
get.
it out.
Well, if you're going to own a house, it's a great tax deduction from your interest. If you're renting,
if you're renting it, you get a bunch of tax deductions from that.
Not necessarily. When you are a homeowner occupant of the property, then Joel, am I right? They can write off the interest that they paid in a year, and of course, they should consult their tax advisor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
but
big
it's always
write-off.
a good investment to have a house, own it, and rent it out. Am I right about that, Roxana?
I would say yes.
Yeah. Caller, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. What's your question?
I'd like to know, do the realtors tell these young people about homesteading their house? Because I've run into a lot of young people that don't even know about homesteading.
Okay, go ahead. Who wants to take that? Roxana?
Now, was that homestay?
Homesteading.
Homesteading their house.
Joel,
Yeah, and I think I think what he's alluding to is something that protects the home in case the homeowner gets into trouble, and it protects the house from being lost. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It depends on the situation, but you don't want to buy a house and hope that it doesn't get lost to foreclosure. You want to be in a position where you're comfortable making your payment. And you have enough in the bank and your credit's good. It's best to have two people that are breadwinners in the family than just having one and hoping that person keeps their job. So you want to be in a good position when you buy that house and not hope for the best and not be on that thin line when you purchase.
We're going to come back because I want to kind of ask Roxana about that. That's kind of why you're here. You can get into the gritty details about that, about keeping your home if you lose your job. Roxana is here. She is Roxana Martinez, the Community Housing Council of Fresno, and Joel Mazmanian. He is from Realty Concepts. We're going to come back on our program here in just a moment.
Considering solar? Whether you're ready to buy now or just exploring your options, the consultants at Solar Negotiators are here to help you. A call to Solar Negotiators is like calling 5 solar companies at once. You see, when local established solar contractors have gaps in their schedule, they call Solar Negotiators to fill them. Right now, get 5 years of panel cleaning and maintenance or $1,000 off your new solar panels. So stop wasting your time searching and call Solar Negotiators, because when contractors compete for your business, you win.
Oh, we're on? Okay. Hey, we do have a phone call. Let's take the phone call here. We are with Joel Mazmanian and Roxana Martinez. Caller, what's your question?
Yes, I'm calling. I'm from Corcoran, California, and I was calling to see what I do about a slumlord that doesn't seem to want to fix anything in the house.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I don't know. What do you do about a slumlord? Who knows? Take him to court? I don't know.
Well,
Move.
I would get advice from a legal advisor at your courthouse.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm
where I
saying.
would go.
Yeah. Go seek out an attorney. find out what you can do. But okay, we called this a business segment today. You work for Realty Concepts. How long have you been there?
14 years.
14 years. And how's business doing compared to, say, 5-6 years ago?
Yeah. It's
better?
Well, now we're finally in a balanced market, John, where we have a good amount of buyers and sellers. And that's something we didn't have for a very long time. The inventory is now at a place where it's meeting demand. And the prices are now leveling off. Again, we're in a good place. Interest rates are low, 4.5% right now typically, and the prices are not out of range, not out of reach for a first-time home buyer.
Excuse me. People are probably wondering what they're looking at up on the screen there. Why don't you explain it? On one of the Coca-Cola channels, there's kind of a 24-hour reel about what real estate agent you can contact at Realty Concepts. Is that right? You kind of have your own channel there on one of the Coca-Cola stations. True?
Yeah, I do. My website is FresnoHomePrices.com, and it's an easy way to find out what your home is worth. And you just tell me some details about your home.
And your phone number.
And my phone number. You can always call me at 213-7557.
Okay.
But easy. Just get online, FresnoHomePrices.com, and it's going to be an accurate way of finding out what your property's worth, more so than a Zillow or a Truly or any of those websites that, it's an algorithm, it's a computer spitting out a price, but it's not going to give you the real neighborhood values that I can give or a qualified realtor could.
But quickly, in 10 seconds, that channel on one of the Cary Coca-Cola stations here in Fresno, what is on that channel? I see your name scrolling at the top right there. Do you show homes inside and out? Do you show the prices? Do you go on, do you take the tour of the house? Or what do you do?
All the homes you see, John, are homes that are available right now and for sale with Realty Concepts. Those are all of our listings that are scrolling through 24 hours a day. And if you have any interest about any of the homes that you see, you can call the number. Okay. And we can help you take a look or get you qualified so we know what you can afford.
All right. Caller, quickly, what's your question?
I was just going to comment on that statement you made. He has a beautiful thing going on TV on some of his houses. If he would just rotate them and get the old ones off and put fresh ones on more often. That's all.
Okay. Nice comment. All right.
Yeah, no, it is, and the properties are selling pretty quickly. So that's true. I wish we could update these photos every day because there's always properties that are being sold.
So basically, you're scrolling through homes that are for sale here in the Fresno market, basically, and the phone number's up there, and they can call you. Now, Roxana, let me get to you. So, what is the Community Housing Council of Fresno? Explain what that organization does and what it is and how it came to be.
Yes, sir. Community Housing Council of Fresno is a local, HUD-approved, nonprofit housing counseling agency.
Purpose is to do what's the mission statement?
Housing counseling.
Okay.
Now, that's what we do. We help everyone who is looking to purchase a home for the first time get counseled about first-time homeownership programs and any of the city programs or county programs that they can apply for to make their home purchase not only easier but more affordable.
Okay, so let's get to the crux of the question, Roxana, which was my monologue. If someone loses their job, even if their wife or their husband is still working, or let's say they live alone, let's say they're a single parent, and we know how many single parents there are in this area.
For sure.
Tons. Okay, if that one person loses their job and suddenly they're on the verge of losing their home, what can you do to advise them? What do you do when they come in and see you? What do you tell them?
Well,
what kind of programs are available for them to save that home?
There are many programs available.
Give me an example.
Okay,
of one.
For example, the Making Home Affordable Loan Modification Program is a program. It's a government loan modification, and they can apply for that loan modification, and if they qualify, then they'll approve your payment to be 31% of your gross monthly income. And we would take a look at that at the organization with a counselor. You would sit with him or her on a one-on-one and find out exactly what your situation is and how we can address this situation so that you can keep your home. And in most cases, we can help. There's a making.
Is it like a refinance program?
It is not a refinance program.
It's not. So what is it like? What's it similar to?
A modification will take a look again at your hardship. You also have to prove your hardship. You have to prove to the lender why is it that you're having this difficulty making the mortgage payment.
Okay, you could say, well, I come in and talk to you and I say, well, look, I lost my job. What else? I have very little money in the bank. Or
I went from a $5,000 income because my husband or wife used to live with me. I am now a single parent and I am bringing home $2,500. So we would assess that situation. That would be the hardship, or it could be anything from medical, divorce, loss of income, or reduction in income. So there are many hardships that they can present to the lender.
So the lender will look at that financial situation, and what are the chances of that person saving that house? What are the percentages? And do you have people in that situation that you see daily?
Daily we see someone, not just someone, but many people that are having difficulty making their mortgage payment right now. And if they're not going through that difficulty themselves, they probably know someone that's going through financial hardship.
Right.
And as far as the percentages go, you have better chances of keeping your home if you seek help. And seek help from a HUD-approved housing counseling agency like ourselves.
But you say you see people daily.
We
so
do.
How many are in this situation?
Daily.
Just they
we have about 5 counselors at CHC.
You're one of them?
Each one of them, yes. Each one of them with about a 100 caseload.
You're kidding.
I am
so
not
that
kidding
many
you.
people
And
are in that type of a situation where they need financial help.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, talking to Roxana Martinez of the Community Housing Council of Fresno and Joel Mazmanian of Realty Concepts. 436-ME-TV, option 11. If you're on the verge of losing your house because you lost your job, hey, call in, ask a question. We're back in just a moment. Back here on the program on Connect with Me, a call coming in. Good morning. What's your question?
Yeah, this is directly to you, Joel. Can you apply for a house loan if you lost your house, let's say 10 years ago, and you went through bankruptcy, and then you wanted to apply for it? Can you get a loan that way? Okay. And what do you do about, well, I have a couple of friends, I would say 15 years ago, I advised him, he was the only income, but he had a great income. He can afford the house. But for some reason, the wife, wanted this and that and a bigger house. And I sat down with him. I'm not a counselor, but I sat down with him. I said, you know what? You could only afford so much. You're the only income. If you lose it, you're going to lose that house. Now, this is 15 years ago, and to this day, they did lose the house. The wife didn't understand why we did it. Well, he was the only income. She didn't help, So she wanted to do just all the pie. So
okay.
That was my advice to them.
Right.
But
right.
on that, when you lose that first house, and then you wait 10 years later, and you reestablish yourself for whatever reasons, it was a death in the family.
All right. Thank you.
So that was another income.
All right.
Can they
Thank you.
reapply?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the call. We get the gist of the question here. So can they reapply after 10 years?
Yeah. If you have some credit that's been reestablished, and you've come out of that bankruptcy, in a good way. You have a job, and absolutely. Usually,
Isn't
time.
it 7 years? I thought.
Yeah, 7.
And then the slate gets wiped clean, right?
The more time, the better. And the stronger your position is, if your credit scores are above 600, that's always good. 7 is even better. If you can come out of that situation stronger than you were, then you'll be in a position to buy another house again. 7 years is good, 10 is better. And the problem, John, was that people used their house as an ATM about 10 years ago. They were pulling money out and people got underwater. And when the market decided to turn to the downside, that's when people got into real trouble and they lost their home. So a lot of it was pulling money out of the home as opposed to values.
Yeah. Let me ask you, how do people get in touch with you, Roxana? If they do have a problem, if they've lost their job, they have a reduced income, they're paying more than they really can afford right now, where can they reach you?
They can call us at 559-221-6919.
221-6919.
6919.
And that is the number for the Community Housing Council of Fresno. And do you have an extension there? Or?
No, that is the number
Just
to
ask
call.
For you, or?
That is a number for anyone that is looking for help to call, and they first have to attend an orientation so they can better understand how we can help them.
Okay, you say you get a flood of people coming in that have this reduced income or loss of job or whatever, and they're trying to save their house. How many of those people are actually saving their homes from foreclosure?
I would say at least 90%.
Really?
Yes. The guidelines have gotten a lot better, and the government is looking to help people avoid foreclosure. They really are. We also refer people to the Keep Your Home California program. That program has 4 ways they can assist people avoid foreclosure.
And so how many foreclosures are you seeing on the market today, Joel, as opposed to, say, 3, 4, 5 years ago?
John, the foreclosure market is way down. It was about 50% of the homes we sold were REOs, real estate-owned foreclosed homes. Now it's less than 10%.
Is that because of programs like this?
No, valuations have come back. There's now equity back in people's homes, and they don't need to foreclose. So that's a big part of it is the turnaround in the real estate business and the industry. Valuations are back. So,
but the organization like Community Housing Council of Fresno, is this one organization that is helping people avoid foreclosure? Is that why there are fewer on the market?
I would say yes. Sorry
Okay.
to butt in. Joel, are you still seeing short sales?
very few.
Very few.
It's not nearly what it was. It was half the market 4 or 5 years ago, and now we're probably 3 or 5%.
Is the buyer smarter today than they were 5 years ago? Or 6 years ago when the market crashed?
The biggest thing, John, is the loans are more difficult to get. 10
But are the buyers smarter?
Well, I would hope that they've learned a lesson.
Yeah.
From 7, 8, 10 years ago. Maybe they got stung. Maybe they lost their home. And now they're thinking, maybe I really should think about if I can make this payment or not. And instead of saying, I hope the market jumps another 20% so I can sell it and make a bundle of cash.
In other words, it's more important to be able to make that payment than it is whether or not you have a mansion to live in with a swimming pool, right? I mean, the dream is still there, but you got to be realistic too. Go ahead.
Very important pre-purchase counseling. Find out how much you can really afford with one of our counselors.
All right. Hey, one quick question. I've always wanted to ask this question. Okay, Saturday, Sunday mornings, you wake up and you see the real estate guy on TV with the infomercial saying, hey, you can flip this house like I did. I flipped thousands of homes and I became a millionaire. Is that realistic? Yes or no?
In an appreciating market, John, it is.
Really?
And a couple years ago, it was a pretty smart thing to do because the market increased 25%.
Wow.
Right now, we're leveling off, and I don't think flippers are going to be very successful in 2015 like they have been.
Why?
It's a
Why?
balanced market now. We're not seeing the appreciation. I think real estate is a great place to be in the next 5 to 10 years. We're just not going to see 20% increases like we have, which is a good thing. It's a healthier market.
Yeah. I got to have you guys come back. We have our second guest waiting here, and it's on politics, but you guys want to come back sometime?
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. Joel Mazmanian, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Oops,
Thanks,
get
John.
that back over there. Roxanne?
Thank you.
Roxana, Okay. All right.
Thank
Joel
you.
Mazmanian of the Realty Concepts Agency here in the city of Fresno, and Roxana Martinez of the Community Housing Council of the city of Fresno. We're back with our second guest, or should I say third guest. He is running for Fresno City Council District 1. Back with your phone calls in our show in a moment.
Tough TV is the first digital broadcast network to offer first-run original programming targeted at men. Tough TV features content that men are passionate about. Sports.
No matter what happens in the fight, ooh, good right, left. Coming on strong.
Lifestyle.
What we've done is we've created a technology that allows us to run video games in extremely powerful servers in server centers.
Drama.
Did you cause this?
Reality.
Welcome to this edition of Eye for an Eye. Now, today in court, we have the case of the reckless brother who tried to unravel his own family ties.
Talk.
Bam, we have a winner.
Specials.
I'm Dick Butkus. Welcome to the Butkus Awards TV special.
And movies.
Everybody on your knees, put your hands on the table.
Sports, lifestyle, drama, reality, talk, specials, and movies. Are you tough enough?
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an HD 3D web-enabled Samsung TV. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Euronews, most watched news channel in Europe.
Welcome to a new beginning. An adventure that goes well beyond passive diversions. Empowering through exploration. Engaging your passions. Inspiring with lives lived outdoors. Come with us. Untamed Sports TV.
You can find Untamed Sports on over-the-air channel 13.8.
You can find movies on over-the-air channel 13.3. Movies. Our name says it all.
We're back here on the program on a Tuesday morning, and we're going from business to politics here on the program. We're going to talk about a person, a man who wants the city council seat, District 1, currently occupied by Blong Jong. His opponent is Esmeralda Soraya. She was on the program last Thursday here on Connect with Me. So let's talk about, in the monologue here, I want to talk about Fulton Mall. Let's, well, if you want to roll a videotape, fine. Put up a picture of Fulton Mall, and we'll see what it looks like. We all know what Fulton Mall looks like by now. Hey, the plan is to tear this baby out at a cost of $19 million. That's federal money. But according to our guy, Doug Vagum, he is our water guy. He is our everything. He's one of our political analysts here, along with Tal Cloud. Anyway, you know, according to Doug, he's saying that the overruns on this are going to be about $23 million for a total of $40 $3 million. $23 million of that is going to be city money, the rest of it federal. This it comes in the way of capital, not actual operational costs. So I want to ask our guest about that. These are figures that we don't hear about in the media, neither the Fresno Bee or on any of the television news channels regarding Fulton Mall. They say by tearing out Fulton Mall, it will revitalize downtown. It will bring it back to life. Businesses will open up and people will flock there. Build it and they will come. Well, live in our studio now to talk about the Fulton Mall and many other issues on my mind and your mind is Cary Catalano, running for City Council District Number 1. That's the seat that Blong Jong has right now. Your phone calls are important. 436-ME-TV, option 11. We're back with our program in a moment.
Retro TV, your home for classic television. The greatest shows in history are here for you to enjoy. Join Cosby and Culp as secret agent men in I Spy. Ride along the Ponderosa with the Cartwrights in Bonanza. Hit the beat with Joe Friday in Dragnet. And that's not all. Retro TV offers endless fun and excitement for the whole family to enjoy. Retro TV, the best in classic television.
You can find Retro TV on over-the-air channel 13.4.
All right, you heard the monologue. The mall, the $43 million it's going to cost to tear this thing out, $23 million of it city money, the rest of it is federal money, but we haven't heard about the city money. They've only publicized what it's going to cost from the federal side. They're saying, well, the feds are going to pick this up. It's coming in from the federal government. We don't have to worry about it. It's only going to be about, what, $2 or $3 million of our city money. Come to find out from Doug Vagum, who took this off of the website, handed it to me and said, look at all of these line item expenditures here. It's capital. It's not actual operational costs. So Cary Catalano running for District 1. What do you think about this? $23 million of our money, city money,
right,
comes out of our budget, is going to go to tear out that mall.
Well, number one, I'm glad to be here today, and I'm glad to talk about the revitalization efforts in downtown Fresno. I haven't seen the numbers that Mr. Vagum actually gave to you.
They're right there.
I like to study them, but I think the couple of things that we need to take into account is, number one, we have delayed maintenance underneath actually Fulton Street. You're talking about water, fiber optics, electrical that have not been maintained for 50 years, and all of these infrastructure improvements need to be made regardless. If you take a tour of what's going on in the basements of some of these buildings, you will see that some of the water mains are leaking just because of sheer age. We have a lot of underground maintenance that's been deferred, and quite honestly, I haven't seen the numbers, and I'd love to look at the numbers, but there is the reconstruction effort, which is pulling out the mall, and then there is the underground effort of revitalizing the water main so far.
Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Now, the last time I called in about the Fulton Mall, I asked the question, what are we going to do about the parking problem? What are you going to do about a parking problem if you're elected in this?
Hey,
if we have a parking problem. The answer I got was, well, yeah, that's something that we're going to have to look at and take some work on it. That's not an answer. That's a political answer.
Well, he wasn't.
That wasn't me.
That wasn't Cary. That was Esmeralda.
And
Esmeralda Soraya last week.
And I have a plan. So, you know, number one, I'm in the San Joaquin Power Building that Cliff Titillion owns. I've been in downtown Fresno with my company for the last 11 years.
What do you do about parking?
It's really simple. Number one, I'm not a big fan of parking meters along the Commerce District, which I like to call Fulton Street. We have 3 parking garages that are completely underutilized. Number one, I think individuals that shop downtown and participate in the revitalization efforts, they should have free parking. We need to clear up the one-way street so people have better access into these existing parking structures that are completely underutilized. We have ample parking. It really is just a matter of accessibility. And right now with Fulton's Mall, they're not accessible to people. So I don't believe we have a parking problem.
Those parking areas are not accessible right now?
They are very confusing. You have a lot of one-way streets, and if you're not familiar with downtown Fresno, number one, I don't believe people should have to pay for parking to shop in a retail district. You could go to Fashion Fair, you could go to River Park, you could do whatever you want. But for someone to say, hey, I have to pay $1.50 to be here for an hour, and I could very likely get a $33 ticket, is unacceptable to me. If we're going to revitalize downtown Fresno, we need to make it attractive for people, and parking needs to be free.
All right, here are the line items, individual line items that Doug Vagum pulled out for us at $750,000, $20 million, $411,000, $500,000, $15 million plus. almost $2 million, an additional $2,250,000.
But for what?
$43 million. This is for the Fulton Mall.
No,
to tear it
sure,
out.
but so when you look at the numbers, let's be
look
real
at all
here.
those numbers there.
But when you see $750,000 for the Department
doesn't
of
tell
Public
you what
Works,
it's for. It doesn't tell you what it's for.
Right. So the two things is I can't answer all these questions today because I don't know exactly what the
You need to go find out.
$750,000. But here's what I will also tell.
But
tell
look at
individ-
the next page.
Sure.
Look at the next page. Look at those numbers.
So these are all public work. So a lot of it could be water infrastructure improvement
Nobody
projects.
knows. Why weren't we told this? We were told it was going to be federal money. So you in favor of this now?
Oh, sure I am. Sure I
Even
am.
with the $43 million.
Well, number one, I don't want to jump to conclusions on these costs. I'm not on the city council yet. I could justify my reasonings. If you'd like to know my reasonings for revitalization in downtown, I have never believed that opening up Fulton Street is the silver bullet for downtown revitalization.
Right.
But to have the largest area of the highest density of buildings lay dormant is unacceptable to me.
Okay,
We have a
caller,
call?
what's
Please.
your question?
Yeah, the first caller made a good point as far as being a politic question and all that. But besides that, number two, security is important. You don't have security around there,
yeah,
it's not going to happen. This is not going to. This is more like competing the north side and here the Fulton Mall. Okay, it's going to cost a lot of money, and also the lighting, even on the north side or whatever, the homeless. That's another issue, okay?
Oh, my gosh.
So a lot of people are not going to come to, whether you put millions of dollars, they're not going to come to the Fulton Mall like it used to be 30, 40 years ago. And I can testify. You know, you have so many issues. The city council themselves
All right.
needs to come, Fulton Mall, take a little tour, and see what they need to do. And number two, the mayor should be involved in this, period. Okay? So that's all I want to know.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Do you agree with the caller that there's nothing that can be done to revitalize downtown Fresno?
No, I respectfully disagree. We have 50 years of doing nothing in downtown Fresno. The city council in 1968 knew that they made a mistake in closing off the street. They immediately began to open up portions of the mall to traffic again. The challenge really is that we've never completed a task in the city of Fresno. That we see one project being successful and we stop doing the balance of it. This is a comprehensive approach which the city has been involved in and the administration has been involved in for 6 years. The opening Fulton Street will open to the area to private investment, and I understand security, but if you look at the statistics, downtown Fresno is one of the most safest places to be in the city of Fresno, and we have 45,000 people working downtown.
So you're saying that the do-nothing policy the last 50 years is unacceptable?
You're right. Why would you let your heritage, your culture die? When you have a decaying urban core, the balance of your city does not do well economically. When private investors and employers look at quality of life, they look at the vibrancy of your downtown. And just saying we should not do anything is unacceptable to me.
Okay.
This is a politically polarizing issue, and I understand it. But
now, just so you know, I'm not asking you any different questions that I asked Esmeralda
that's
Soraya
totally
last
fine.
week. I mean,
Yeah,
I asked her the
ask it.
same. I asked her the
Ask it.
same thing about
Ask
this
it.
Fulton Mall,
Ask
and
it.
it's a very viable issue.
it is a
question.
very, and I'm comfortable with answering
All
it.
right. Cary Catalano has been grateful enough to come in and spend his morning with us here on Connect with Me. 436 MeTV option 11. Glad to have him and you along for the ride. Back in a moment.
Considering solar? Whether you're ready to buy now or just exploring your options, the consultants at Solar Negotiators are here to help you. A call to Solar Negotiators is like calling 5 solar companies at once. You see, when local established solar contractors have gaps in their schedule, they call Solar Negotiators to fill them. Right now, get 5 years of panel cleaning and maintenance or $1,000 off your new solar panels. So stop wasting your time searching and call Solar Negotiators, because when contractors compete for your business, you win.
Back here with Cary Catalano on the show running for District 1 City Council. Hey, we got a call coming in. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me.
Hi. I lived through the transition as a child, and they used to have trams. They used to have trams with curtains because people said in the wintertime it was not comfortable, and they transitioned. And I saw all the changes that have happened. I wished that they would have covered the exterior of the mall and made it something like a fashion fair. that would have saved it while the businesses were still there.
Okay.
Not likely anything can save it now. Honestly, it's just pretty much maybe
lost cause?
make it condos.
Yeah.
Make it something like that. And you, as a potential representative, have other issues besides the mall. Please tell us about what they are.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
That's totally fair. So let me just say about our economic development strategy as a city. For me, downtown revitalization's never been about Fulton Street, Fulton Mall. It's been about our larger economic development
But you've
strategy.
already stated it's not a lost cause.
It's not a lost cause, but I want to get back to the other issues of why I'm running. You know, this city has been plagued with a double-digit unemployment rate as long as I could remember. And a part of our economic development strategy is trying to make the city in its entirety much more healthy than it is. High levels of concentrated poverty, homelessness issues, services that are insolvent, which means we can't really deliver the goods and services we promise our residents. But you cannot do that without additional revenue. And so the city has to look at its approach and how we want to develop economically, and its central business district is a part of it. We can't have additional police officers. We can't have greater parks. We can't have anything additional without additional revenue. So looking at our overall economic development strategy is essential.
Okay, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Okay, a question real quick to Cary.
Good morning.
What would he have done if he was a councilman already to save the stadium that just went to Sacramento? Okay, their issue too was not because they owe money or whatever. It was because a lot of number one, the issue of parking and security.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, at the beginning of when they came in, it was a great place. I mean, you drew a lot of people because it was a family-oriented. But a lot of people thought, hey, there's no security here.
Yeah.
You know, the games are late and whatever.
Okay.
And there was no way that I would feel, secure with bringing my kids over here. So they left.
Yeah.
And the city council had nothing more than just talk about politics, the mayor, and instead of coming on here to
all right,
get a hold. And I hope you do something different.
Okay, so let me ask you, losing the San Francisco Giants, who are one game away now from advancing to the National League Championship Series, losing that major league team, is it a blow to civic pride?
No, I really don't. I don't think it's a blow to civic pride. I think it's a challenging situation. We know that AAA teams move in and out of communities throughout the country.
But they've been here for like 12, 14 years now.
They have been. However, change sometimes is inevitable, and you need to learn to just go with the times. And I have to tell you, I think it's an opportunity because we have always said, who are regular participants in going to the Grizzlies, that wow, it would be nice to have a winning team. And we have a team that does well, but I want a team that really wins because it is all about excitement, right? People like, wow, our team is really winning, really making a footprint.
Go ahead, caller. You're on the air with Cary Catalano.
Yeah, Cary. I just want to say finally we have somebody in this community that's speaking up about the football. There is no crime down there. It's one of the safest places in town. You know, we had 20,000 people going into Clovis Avenue in Ashland to the marijuana dispensary. Why don't we put them all down there on the Fulton Mall? I mean, we get plenty of traffic that way.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for
very
the comment.
I want to get back to it because I didn't finish answering the question about the Grizzlies Stadium. My job as a council member is, number one, to do whatever we can from a business standpoint to protect the taxpayers' resources, to ensure that we have a balanced budget. At the end of the day, I don't want that stadium to be empty. And we have to negotiate in good faith with the new owners how we deal with the lease payments.
I wanted to ask you about the lease payment because we're running short on time here. I want to get everything in.
Right.
I know it's only a half an hour, but okay, if a new owner comes in and says, oh, okay, look, the lease calls for me to pay for $750,000 a year to the city of Fresno. I'll buy the team, but I want that cut in half.
Right.
That means the taxpayers will pick up the rest of that tab. Would you be in favor of that?
I think that we'd have to have a serious conversation about it. I think, number one, a 0 of 0 is still 0. So if the stadium lays dormant, we generate no revenue to pay that bond obligation. I've not been a part of the detailed negotiations of the past. I would have to make some serious decisions about...
You can't answer that right now.
No, but here's what I'll tell you. I think that I need to... the fact is, if we pick up an additional half of the tab, we have to cut somewhere else. And so we have to be very mindful, where do I cut? And I really don't know what the negotiations will look like next year, but I'm happy to take part in them.
Yeah, and you really can't negotiate here on the air.
No, because you have no idea what the terms are.
You have no idea what the terms
and by
are.
the way,
You're not even in office
I'm not even
yet.
in office yet, but I'm excited to be there.
Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. Go ahead. Caller? Caller, you're there. Go ahead.
Hello.
Good morning.
You're on the air.
Good morning.
Go ahead.
Isn't it true that revitalizing downtown Fresno is, with our tax dollars, it's not so much for the people, but for the property owners that have been losing in value over the years?
No. No, I mean, we've been discussing the Fulton Mall and downtown revitalization as long as I've been alive. I've lived in Fresno County my entire life. It is just as much for businesses as it is for the residents and the vibrancy of our local economy. I think what people have to understand, it's a very emotional effort to revitalize your community, because there's opinions all over the spectrum, and we're never going to please everybody. And I think that what people should be thrilled about before we go on to the next topic is at least we're doing something. Yeah. At least we're doing something.
See, that's the thing. When you bring the, and I go back, I know I got to take a break, but I'm stuck on what you just said about the deal, the terms of the deal, the financing and everything else. If a new owner comes in and says, hey, I want to pay half of $750, now you're going to have to take from some other department, right, to make up for that.
That is correct.
Isn't that the way city government kind of operates anyway? They take from one pot and fill the other, and then they take from this one and fill another, and they kind of switch things around a little bit? I mean, is that the way the budget kind of works?
It is, but I also have to be mindful as a council member that I have district and citywide needs that we need to address, to public safety, to sidewalk repair, to street lights, to street maintenance, and to park maintenance. So we have to be mindful.
Those are all the districts right there, by the way.
And
just
how
you can see it right
and
there.
how we manage the budget. But I will tell you this: if we have a growing, vibrant local economy, we generate new jobs, businesses are locating to Fresno, the revenue issue will become a smaller priority.
In 15 seconds, because we got to go to break. That's District 1. That's your
is my
district right there. Biggest
is.
problem in that district?
Biggest problem really is the delivery of public services, which include public safety, green space, street maintenance, and flat-out economic development. West of 99 has been long neglected by the city of Fresno. That encompasses Central Unified School District, and the residents in the Tower District feel a lack of security. So we have broad-based issues we need to address.
We got to take a break, but we got to take this call too. So caller, quickly. It's got to be quick. We got to go to break. What's your question, please? Hello? Caller?
Hi.
Hi.
Are you
Quickly.
there?
Quickly.
morning.
Go ahead. Turn down the sound on your TV. Go ahead.
Good
Quickly.
morning. Hello?
Hello?
Hi. I don't hear you very well. Say, do you have your microphone at your mouth?
Yeah. Go ahead. Quickly. Okay.
Okay. I'm used to work downtown. I'm retired now, and the Fulton Mall and all of downtown is doing so well with the construction.
Okay.
And it's going. Everything positive is going with downtown. I hate to see the Fulton Mall torn up and with more expense for Fresno when you know, if there is what we need to do, in what it's been said, is restore it back. You know, the lighting, the electrical, the water, the artwork. Everything.
Okay. We kind of get the gist of your question. We're running short on time. We'll have Cary answered on the other side of the break. Back in just a moment.
Euronews, most watched news channel in Europe.
Back here with Cary Catalano. Quickly, because I want to get onto some other topics. Can you restore the Fulton Mall the way it is now?
No. This is a restoration project. It really is. We're going to restore artwork. We're going to restore the facades of the buildings. It's not going to be what it is today, but it is a restoration project.
And you'd be in favor of restoration even if it includes the Doug Vagum figures that he got off the city website with Public Works, an extra $23 million coming out of my pocket.
Listen,
and yours?
I'm not going to say that today. I think that would be unfair to me in the future as a future council member. I need to look at where you got the numbers. If the numbers are deriving from the fact that we have crumbling underground infrastructure that needs to be addressed, that has not been addressed in 50 years, that's a totally different story.
Okay.
The fact of taking out the mall and it's going to cost X, then we could talk about the other numbers later.
Okay, another issue
Please.
that made the paper, front page last Thursday, Mayor Swearingen, here it is right here, take that shot. Look at that, front page of the newspaper. She is now in, she says she is now for gay marriage and against Proposition 8. Okay, I want to take you to the quote. Fresno Mayor Ashley Swearingen told this to the Fresno Bee as a supporter of Prop 8 back in 2008. I recognize that the courts have overturned this measure and that same-sex marriage is the law in our state. Like most Californians, I believe it is time to move beyond this issue and focus our public policy energies on addressing the mountain of debt and outstanding liabilities that threaten the financial future of the next generation. She had that quote for the Fresno Bee, but she has also changed her mind about high-speed rail, and she is supporting Blong Jong for supervisor, who is a left-wing liberal. She is a moderate conservative. Cary, what's going on with our mayor? She's changing at every corner to get the Democratic vote for state controller because she's behind in the polls?
I don't think that's the case. I can't speak for Mayor Swearingen and her campaign. I have known Mayor Swearingen for a very long time. I think it's no secret that she's supporting my candidacy. Mayor
Swearingen, the role reversal in this? What's going on?
Listen, the mayor has always supported me. And it's no secret to anybody that I am an openly gay candidate for city council.
Right.
And the fact, I've never sensed her discriminating against me at all.
Right.
And I think the mayor has her own private views on the issue, but I have never felt discriminated against her.
Hey, I'm not here to debate Prop 8.
No,
we don't care about that. We care about, is it a role reversal for the mayor? That's what I care about.
I personally don't feel that's the case.
You don't?
No, I don't. I think that what the mayor said in her quote, if you read the article, she's saying the law of the state
I just read the quote.
Right. The law of the state of California is as such. And I think that you should invite Mayor Swearingen onto your show to discuss her positions.
Cary,
and not ask Cary, why are you...
I'm blue in the face.
Right, well, you know what? But it has nothing to do with my race for city council.
Your buddy Mark Standriff over there at City Hall, I have placed so many calls to him. Are we getting the mayor on? Are we getting the mayor on? By the way, there's Mark. Where's the mayor? We got the mayor. We got the mayor's picture.
Hi, Mark.
Too. Hello, Mark.
But the mayor's positions for her controller race have nothing to do with the issues of City Council District 1.
All right, they're having this Recharge Fresno, the meetings. The next one takes place October 13th. I believe that is next week sometime. It's a Monday. It's Monday. Oraz Elementary School, 6 to 8:30 in the evening. Okay, in many people's minds, this is just a recharge to put this thing out there so the city council can vote to raise the water rates when they've already been pushed back.
Yeah.
You think that's true?
No, I think there was a lot of correct statements about the debate on water. When I started campaigning in August of 2013, and that was right after everything happened, residents made it very clear. We're very interested in investing in our future. However, we don't believe that the rate structure is fair and equitable to our working families and our working poor.
Should they be raised to a reasonable level?
Here's what I want to say to you. A part of this
affordable level.
At an affordable level, tiered levels, so we can incentivize conservation.
But wait a minute, it's against the law to do tiered levels. I think in water.
Well, what we need to talk about is what the rate structure looks like, and this is why they're having these forums. I don't know what the rate structure is going to look like.
I don't know.
The council is also charged with re-looking at the water master plan. Does it really need to cost that much? But residents are resilient. They want to invest in our future. Yeah. But in all fairness to everybody involved, we need to do a better job in involving the public in the process. And I think that the steps that we're taking now is an essential part of that solution. This is not something I'm going to rush into as a next council member. I think we need to be very mindful.
So yay or nay, you're in favor of raising water rates?
I'm in favor of looking at all options to fund the investment.
You know what? This is too short.
It was great. Thank you.
Will you agree to come back?
I would love to come
before the election?
I would love to.
Okay. Cary Catalano, District 1 candidate for City Council. There he is. And we're going to be back another day. That's tomorrow with another edition of Connect with Me. We're talking about a pro basketball team here in the city of Fresno. See you then. Have a great day.